What's up, Car Squad fam, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Derek and I do car reviews. Today we'll be checking out this 2021 Genesis G70 3.3T with the sport package as well as all-wheel drive. Now these start at about $48,200 and this one is outfitted in the Siberian Ice paint. Today we'll take a look at the exterior and interior of the vehicle, then I'll take you for a point of view drive, and then finally I'll wrap it up by giving you my thoughts on the vehicle. And one other thing, I am located here in the Bay Area in Northern California, so if you're up this way and have a car that I can review, please shoot me an email at the address listed here. Thanks. Now before we get into the normal review stuff, I just want to point out some things about the sport package and what's included with that. Now, you used to have to purchase the Elite package, and the G70 3.3T comes standard with what the Elite package used to include. That includes the darkened window trim here, as well as the darkened door handles, and then the wheels, of course, being black, and the red Brembo brake calipers. And when we get to the interior, you'll see the black Napa leather that comes standard on the G70 3.3T Sport, and you have the option of choosing a red or gray stitching for the piping and lining. Alright, so starting off up front here in the engine bay, you'll see the 3.3 liter turbocharged 6-cylinder that this vehicle is powered by. It's got 365 horsepower as well as 376 pound-feet of torque. In car and driver's test, it had a 0 to 60 time of 4.7 seconds. You've got an 8-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters, which you'll see when we get to the interior. And your gas mileage is 17 in the city, 26 on the highway for a combined 20 miles per gallon. Alright, so moving around to the back of the vehicle, you'll see the styling is quite nice. You've got this rear diffuser which looks pretty good, along with these large oval tailpipes. And I'll insert an exhaust clip here so you can hear what it sounds like. So moving into the trunk, you'll see that we do have a good amount of space back here. You can go on a road trip, have a fun drive, and carry a lot of luggage with you. On the right side here, you do have your first aid kit, and if you lift the floor mat up, you will find your spare tire along with your jack and tools. Of course, once you're done back here, you've got the option to press this button and lower the trunk, or lower and lock the vehicle. Alright, so moving into the back seat of the Genesis G70 3.3T, it is beautiful in here. This diamond stitching and the black leather interior with that red option for the stitching, it looks really, really good in here. I'm very impressed. On the doors themselves, you do have, of course, your window up and down switch, and then you've also got seat heaters here. You've got a 3-level seat heater, so you can have high, medium, or low. Now, time to find out what the space is like back here. I am 6'1", the driver's seat is set to my driving position, so we'll see what it's like trying to get in here. Definitely a little tight. I have big feet also. Okay, so it's definitely tight and cramped back here. It's not the most spacious vehicle. One nice thing is the seat backs have little cutouts so your knees and legs can kind of go there, but getting past that centerpiece that kind of bulges out is a little challenging. The other thing is I have unusually big feet. I wear about a 13 or 14, so sliding my foot in here, I kind of have to do some twisting of my feet and ankles to actually get back here. But the seat itself is comfortable. I just don't know that I'd want to be here for a very long road trip. Headroom is very good. Again, I'm 6'1", and I have a good amount of headroom above as well. Really, the center seat is pretty much unusable back here. You've got the big hump in the middle. So maybe if you had a baby seat or something there, it could possibly work, but this is really a 4-seater car for 2 small people in the back. As far as features go back here, You don't really have any. You do have some rear air vents which you can open and close. You cannot set the temperature specifically for just back here. Below that you will find a USB port, and then of course as you fold down the center armrest you will find 2 cup holders. Alright, so as we get ready to enter the driver's seat, one thing I want to point out, the car is locked. With the key fob on me, you know, in most cars you can just slide your hand here and the car will sense and unlock. What you have to do here is actually press the button on the door handle. You will see it unlocks and then you can enter the vehicle. Same thing when you're locking the vehicle, you can close the door and then press the button and the car locks. Alright, so starting off on the door panel up front here in the driver's seat, of course you've got all your window controls, the option to lock the windows, and then your lock and unlock for the vehicle. And just above that you do have your left and right mirror controls as well. Up above by the door handle you do have the option to set 2 memory seating positions. Alright, so in the driver's seat now you'll see you've got all the electronic controls here to slide the seat forward and backwards, as well as raise it up and down and adjust the seat back. You also have 4-way lumbar support. I think that in combination with the steering wheel being able to be adjusted up, down, as well as out to you really helps find the perfect ideal driving position for each individual. On the steering wheel itself you've got your cruise control buttons over here on the right side and all your audio and infotainment controls on the left side here. Of course you have your paddle shifters, and then just behind that your wiper and blinker stocks. In the gauge cluster center screen you also have a few different things you can view here. You can see a lap timer for performance if you're on the track. You've got the option to just have it display your miles per hour, your speed, as well as your directional navigation info, tire pressure, and some other user settings to select, you know, different settings on the vehicle. So as far as storage goes on the interior here, in the center armrest, you'll see you have a small pocket, but you can throw a few items in there. You'll also find a USB port in there as well. Just in front of that you've got your 2 cup holders. To the left you'll find your parking brake, your camera, auto brake hold, as well as park assist and traction control buttons. You also have your drive mode selector here, and that sits right behind, of course, your gear selector. This is fairly easy to use. You just hop on the brake, press the button in, and push forward for reverse, pull back for drive, and if you want to put it in park, of course you just press the P. Just in front of the gear selector you can slide this compartment open, which will unveil your wireless charging port. To the left you have a USB port, aux port, and a 12-volt outlet. Up above that you have all your climate controls. Very simple and easy to use. If you want to turn the heated steering wheel on, you can just press this button, turn it on and off. Of course your heated seats, and this vehicle also has cooled seats, so your buttons for that, very simple to use. And these are easy, just knobs that you can turn and spin to turn the temperature up or down, and the temperature itself is shown in the screen above. But I really like that it's so simple in a time when modern cars are seeming to make very simple tasks overcomplicated. Right above those climate controls you'll find some buttons for the media and entertainment, you know, your radio, seek track, as well as the map and navigation system. Up above in the screen itself you can also use the touch screen and do a lot of the controls that way, but it is nice to have the buttons here if needed. Now the screen, I'm not going to get into detail with everything it does and everything that it can do, but you have, like I said, all your normal functions that you would find in any car there now. So, you know, driver settings, radio, Bluetooth music, as well as navigation. And one very cool thing this car has is nature sounds. So if you're sitting in traffic after a long stressful day at work, I guess you can just cruise and sit in your stop and go traffic while listening to the waves or the rainforest. Now one other thing to point out real quick is this seat. You'll notice it has some buttons here. If you're in the driver's seat and say you had a very short person sitting here and you're picking up a friend now, who's 6'7" and they need to fit, but the seat is slid too far forward, instead of having to reach across to this side to adjust it, you can just press here and adjust the seat back, as well as sliding the seat forward or back, making it a little easier for your new passenger to get in the vehicle. I guess also if you're sitting back here and you don't like that the person in front of you is taking all your leg room, you can slide them a little bit forward to give you a little bit more space back here. Well, that wraps up the walk around tour of the exterior and interior of this vehicle. Now we'll take it out on the road. I'll put you in the driver's seat to see what it's like driving it. So we've been driving in comfort mode. Now we're gonna switch it over here to sport mode and see how it changes. Definitely pulls off a little more aggressively there, and you hear that exhaust a little bit more as well. Alright, so my thoughts on the 2021 Genesis G70 3.3T. I was actually very impressed. This was my first Genesis product ever reviewing or driving, and it was beautiful. The interior is very well done. The exterior looks, I think, are pretty appeasing as well, and I thought it did a really good job of balancing both sport and performance along with comfort. It really, separates pretty well. BMWs that I've been in, they tend to be, even in comfort mode, still a little bit more of a harsh, rougher ride. And the owner of this vehicle actually previously had a BMW M3. It was the E92 M3, I believe. That was actually one of the reasons, though, that she moved on to this Genesis. The M3, she said, was just a very rough ride for daily use. With this car, you can drive it in comfort mode, and it feels like a Lexus LS or something like that. And then you put it in sport mode, and one of the cool things I should say about sport mode is once sport mode is activated, the seats hug you in. So the bolsters adjust to really hug you in. So it changes whether you're in sport mode or comfort mode, and kind of just adds to that driving experience. One thing I want to point out about the paddle shifters is if you come to a stop, say at a stoplight, and you're in the manual mode, there is no shifter to put the vehicle in manual mode. You just tap on the paddle shifters. So say you come to a stoplight and you're sitting there 20, 30, 40 seconds, the car will automatically go back into manual mode. So you'll have to just tap on the paddle shifters again to reactivate it. It does not stay in manual mode if you're sitting for a little bit of an extended period of time. Not a huge complaint, but just something I thought I should point out. But other than that, as far as the paddle shifters themselves, they are very responsive. The shifts are quick. There's no delay. And yeah, the driving experience is very good. I enjoyed it a whole lot. This car, the thing that it screams to me is just value. What you can get for this price point, I don't think it's matched. You get a vehicle that you pay, maybe you're about a half second slower in a 0 to 60 than a C43 AMG or a, M340i BMW. But if that's really what you're going for speed, performance, and that half a second or few horsepower is what matters, then okay, you have to do what works for you. But if you're just looking at a daily driver that can, provide comfort when you're sitting in traffic, but, you can open it up a little bit, put it in sport mode when you want to, get on some back roads, or you have an open stretch of road, I think this is a great option to look at. And again, just the value that you get with this vehicle, that's the big plus with this. We'll have to see how reliability holds up over time, but you've got 100,000 mile, 10-year warranty for the drivetrain, and then you've got a standard warranty of 5 years, 60,000 miles, and then you also get your first 3 years, 36,000 miles, free maintenance. And the owner of this vehicle told me she has concierge service, so all the maintenance that needs to be done, they send a car out to her. They leave that car with her. Service advisor picks it up, takes it in, they do the maintenance, and then they come pick it up from her. So she never has to actually drive into the shop and figure out getting home. So it's just a nice added touch as well. But definitely a great vehicle, and I really enjoyed having my first Genesis experience. It was a blast for me. And thank you again to the owner, of course, for allowing me to review and drive the vehicle and share it with all of you. I'm sure you all appreciate it as well. And if you're in the market looking for something that does a great job of balancing, comfort and a little bit of performance as well, without being over the top and without really being over the top with price as well, this is something you have to consider and look at. And I think you'll be very impressed. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not already, to join the Car Squad fam and make sure you're not missing out on other videos like this. And also be sure to follow on Instagram at Car Squad TV. I'll put the link right here. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.